This is your daily morning motivational message. It is Thriving Thursday. We do motivation every day like we do our personal hygiene because we want to keep it clean. The mind, the thought process, the focus, the intention, where your attention goes, energy flows. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. We want to make sure that our thoughts and our mindset is in alignment with our outcome, who we want to become, where we're going, our specific goals, objectives, our dreams, doing work each and every day to move forward to that outcome, to move forward in the manifestation of our goals and our dreams by putting in the work each and every day. And the most important work that we do every day is how we set the tone. It's our mindset, it's our thinking, it's our process, our ability to organize our thoughts and clear the clutter. Remove the distractions. Be mindful of interruptions. Know that life is going to keep coming no matter what. Life is inevitable, and what you have to do is adjust. Why? Because champions adjust. When you're in the midst and throes of competition, when your opponent is throwing things at you that you didn't expect, you have one of two choices. You're going to succumb to all of those things that you were not prepared for, or you're going to make the proper adjustments and come out on top. That's the way it is. When you have halftime, it's because of what? Taking a pause, evaluating what's happening, what's not happening, what's working, what isn't working, and making the proper adjustments. When you have a timeout in the midst of heated competition, it's to take a pause and say, wait a second, let's see why this isn't working. Let's try this instead of that. Make the proper adjustments. And champions are the ones that make the right adjustments at the right time and come out on top. So you and I are going to be continuing in this conversation of elevating our thought process, sharpening our minds, building our knowledge, cultivating our skills, and really tapping into a lot of that unused superpower that we have within us, because I believe we're only tapping into a percentage that's less than half of our true capacity. I know we're leaving a lot on the table when you think about what you can really do and what you're capable of. So I want to talk to you about intelligence, and I want to talk to you about the artificial intelligence. See, let's look at the definition of intelligence. Mental capacity for learning, reasoning, understanding, planning, problem solving, and adapting to new situations. Our thoughts, mental capacity that is up to us to cultivate, develop, sharpen, strengthen. Are you reading every day? Are you listening to messages that are empowering like this every day? Are you having conversations with other people that are high achievers, peak performers, strivers for greatness so that your conversations are elevated? Are you engaging in your inner thought process, that inner monologue? The most important conversations you're having are the ones you have with yourself. Is it an up conversation? Is it empowering? So mental capacity for learning, reasoning, understanding, and all thy getting, get understanding, planning. Proper planning prevents poor performance, problem solving, because the more problems you solve, the more income you're going to create, the more value you bring to the marketplace, the more value you bring to your relationships and your family and your friends, and adapting to new situations. Champions adjust. Our ability to adjust and adapt to things as they're continuing to evolve and develop. Now, that is all based on what you and I do in terms of our personal effort, in terms of our awareness, in terms of our willingness to be disciplined with our own minds and put in the work to get better, put in the work to do more critical thinking. Most people don't think. Most people don't even know what critical thinking is because they're allowing someone else to do all the thinking for them. They're being driven and directed by algorithms. They're being directed by interruptions and noise and distractions. They're being directed by emotional hot buttons that are programmed in the social media algorithm space so that you can continuously get sucked into the vortex of perpetual distraction and emotional manipulation so that you're thinking someone else's thoughts. You're on somebody else's agenda. You're following somebody else's programming. They're playing you like a puppet, and they're keeping you glued to your phone because it's at the end of your hand and it's become a weapon of mass distraction and it's running you around like a rag doll. Now, That's the power that we all have in our hands: intelligence, the mental capacity for learning, reasoning, understanding, planning, problem solving, and adapting to new situations. Now, let's look at the definition of artificial. Artificial means something made, produced, or contrived by human skill or labor, rather than occurring naturally. A substitute, imitation, or simulation of a natural product. A substitute, imitation, or simulation of a natural product. All of us are born unique, but most of us die copies. You get in trouble when you get out of touch with your gifting. You get in trouble when you get out of touch with your voice. You get in trouble when you completely submit and succumb to someone else's programming, someone else's agenda, instead of understanding and cultivating your own. Now, you may align with somebody else's agenda. You guys might have alignment. You may align with somebody else's leadership because you share the same values, the same principles, and you want the same things. That's alignment. That's different. I'm talking about media manipulation. I'm talking about algorithmic manipulation. I'm talking about all of these specific, sophisticated, highly contrived designs to suck your attention, to keep you permanently distracted, and to keep you in consumption mode, to keep you as a consumer, not a producer, not a creative, not an imaginative person, but someone who just consumes, and you become what you consume. What you tune into, you turn into. So again, the definition of artificial: something made, produced, or contrived by human skill or labor. You ever heard of GMOs, genetically modified organisms, genetically modified, organic, genetically modified? So it's like if I'm going to have something to eat, it didn't grow like it's supposed to grow naturally. It was genetically modified, altered by man or woman. And I'm consuming something that's not fit for human consumption because it's not natural. Rather than occurring naturally, a substitute. What's a substitute for something natural? You ever heard of high fructose corn syrup? You ever gone up and down the aisles of a grocery store? And most people don't spend the majority of their time in produce. They spend it in processed foods, not produce, but processed foods. And have you ever looked at or understood or read any articles on the havoc that is wreaked on our health and our bodies and our well-being when we continuously consume highly processed foods? Have you ever gone to a fast food joint and looked at the ingredients? A substitute, imitation, or simulation of a natural product. So you want to get in trouble, you want to find out the source of a lot of issues: highly processed foods, artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, artificial colors. None of these things, I shouldn't say none. A lot of these things are not good for you at all. None. I mean, not good for you at all. There's somewhere out there something that has artificial that might be good that you're consuming. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But let's put those two together. So you have intelligence that you and I can cultivate, develop, build. We can read, we can grow, we can learn, we can better process. We can develop the muscles that are underused. We can create and develop and get better at critical thinking and observing and getting just sharper and problem solving, bringing more value to the marketplace in terms of our unique skill set. That's intelligence within our grasp. Then you flip it, artificial. You're going to allow something or someone else to dictate how you're going to move. You're going to take whatever they give you and make it your own. There's something missing, which is you. It's like you're reducing your contribution, your involvement, your ability, and you're submitting and you're succumbing to someone else's dynamic. You're subverting yourself to somebody else, something artificial. When you put artificial and intelligence together, I don't know that that's an ideal combination when we live in an era and a time where people are lazy. They're lazy in learning. They're lazy in thinking. They don't critically think. They don't understand the power that they possess in their own minds. They continuously allow themselves to be directed by an algorithm, by somebody else's agenda, by interruptions and emotional hot buttons. and they're ceding control to someone else. And see, understand there's a human person behind artificial intelligence, that whole thing. There's some people that are designing all of that. There's some people that are dictating how human beings are going and what they're plugging into and what they're responding to and what they're, see, they get a group think, and this group think says, this is awesome, this is great, we should all do it. Hey, you haven't started doing this yet, you need to do it. It's so much more efficient. I save so much more time. It's awesome. And you get groupthink. And so the purveyors, the purveyors of these elements are generating world-changing revenue. They're also dictating how masses of people are thinking and moving. They're controlling masses. I don't know if you would prefer for somebody else to do your thinking for you. Oh, no, Ed, I just want to do it like certain things. Like it always starts with like a little taste. Just give them a little taste, man. Give them a little taste. You give them a little taste, then they get hooked. And once they get hooked, they keep coming back for more and more and more. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? I sound like a pimp. I sound like a drug dealer. I sound like somebody who's trying to manipulate and control those individuals who cannot think for themselves. So I just wanted to put some things out there for you to consider. I want to challenge you to continue to work on yourself, to keep working on your mindset, to keep working on your thinking, to keep working on cultivating your intelligence and your ability to appropriately process and problem solve and figure things out. Let's get back to the heart of the matter. I want you to cultivate your mental capacity for learning. Reasoning. People are not critically thinking, so they don't have reason. They just put forth arguments that they heard somebody else say. They're literally just mimicking and parroting somebody else's talking points that are not based in anything that is historical, that is factual, that is even real. They're just becoming voice boxes for propagandists because they have gotten accustomed to having somebody else do their thinking for them. Your understanding, and all thy getting, get understanding. Planning, proper planning prevents poor performance. Having the time to be still, the mindfulness to sit still and strategically plan out and map out your day, your week, your month, your quarter, your year. Problem solving. The better you get at problem solving, the stronger your mind gets, the more mentally tough you become. Problems are always going to come. The question is, are you going to get better in solving them and then adapting to new situations? We're going to always be getting things thrown at us coming our way. But champions adjust. We all adapt. We get better. And so I just want to challenge you to keep elevating in your thinking and your thought process. Keep challenging the status quo. Be mindful when everybody's like, this is awesome, this is great, you should do it. It's so much easier. Just because it's easier doesn't mean that it's better for you. Just because it's easier doesn't mean that there's not a bigger agenda behind it. It's just something for you to think about. Remember, what you tune into, you turn into. And if you allow yourself to be subjugated by someone else's agenda, by the purveyors of all these things that everybody's promoting, I would just be careful with that. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe, and go ahead and pass this message on because it is a blessing to be a blessing. Have an awesome and amazing, thriving Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.